Hello and welcome to Biz Aid system for non-profit organizations. Now we're at the home page, and at the home page we can see different dashboards that help us manage our organization. We will go over the dashboards later in the presentation. Let's start the presentation with going over the leads. Here we can see a view of all the leads. We can see the name, telephone numbers, whether or not this person who contacted us wants to donate an amount for our organization, or this person wants to volunteer in our organization. We can see a view of every people who wants to volunteer, or a view of everyone who wants to donate funds. Let's go inside one of the people who wants to donate money for our organization. Here we can see that Jessica Marvin wants to donate the amount of $1,000 to our organization. We can call Jessica, send her an email, and after we speak to her, we can qualify this lead, meaning we can turn Jessica into a contact person in our system and also create a donation for the amount Jessica wants to donate. The system automatically closes this lead and opens a contact and a donation in the system. Let's go now and see the contact record the system has created for Jessica Marvin. Here we can see Jessica Marvin as a contact person in the system. Jessica is not yet checked as a donor in the system since the donation is not completed yet. Once the donation is completed, the system will automatically mark Jessica as a donor. We can see here her contact information, and if we click here, we can see the donations. We can see here one donation that is still in progress. Let's enter the donation. Here is Jessica Marvin's donation. We can see here all her contact details that the system brings us from her contact record. And here we can write free description text. We can manage the status from this field. We can see here that the estimated donation amount is $1,000. We can rate the donation as hot, warm, or cold. Document here the estimated close date. Choose the payment method, and if Jessica wants to dedicate her donation to a specific project, we can select the project from our list of projects. If we want to contact Jessica and document it, we can do it from the activities. We can add a new activity. It can be a task, a fax, a phone call, email, etc. Let's create a phone call. So here we can see the user that is making the phone call, and we can change it from here. Here we will choose the recipient, which is Jessica. This is an outgoing phone call. We can document here the subject of the call. And here we will document what was discussed during the phone call. We can save and close it, or once we are finishing the phone call, we can mark it as complete. Everything that we document will be here as a list. Once Jessica decides to transfer the money, we can close this donation as one. We can change here the amount. The system brings automatically the estimated amount. Choose the close date, write free description text, and then click OK. Now this donation is closed, and if we go back to Jessica, we can see that the system marked it as one, and the system tagged Jessica Marvin as a donor. Now let's go and see a volunteer. So we will choose the view of all the volunteers, and let's enter one of those volunteers. So here we see James Jones, and we can see that the system tagged him as a volunteer, and he's participating in one of our projects. So let's go to see his project participation. So here we can see that James is a volunteer on a weekly basis. He hasn't done any training, and James is participating in the Food Supply for People in Need project. Once he starts participating, he will have a participation start date, and later he might have a participation end date. Those will be also documented in these fields, and later we can always have views of people that have volunteered in the last half year, in the last year, or people that haven't volunteered in the last half year, in the last year, and then we can call them or send them emails to ask them to come and volunteer again. So let's enter the Food Supply for People in Need project. So here we can see the project. We can choose the project type, whether it's a core activity, training, conference, etc. We can choose whether it is a primary project or a secondary project that is connected to a primary project. We can write here the estimated cost of the project and the actual cost of the project. We can see here any action items that are connected to the project, for example, phone calls or emails that were sent. And we can see everyone that is participating in this project. We can see their names and their role in the project. If we had any secondary projects, we would see them here. We can have campaigns for a specific project, for example, to send emails to people that might want to volunteer for this project, or to make phone calls, or to have a meeting that is concerning this project, and we want to invite to this meeting many people. And here we can see whether this project has donations that are dedicated specifically to it. So we can see here the name of the donors that have dedicated money specifically for this project. And here we can see it in a list. So let's save and close the project. And let's save and close the volunteer. So now let's see how we can manage campaigns. So here we can see a list of campaigns that we have already created. We can always click here and create a new campaign. Let's see an existing campaign, which is the monthly newsletter campaign. So the first thing that is important to us in a campaign is the target marketing lists. In this case, we can see that we chose to send a monthly newsletter to all contacts. We can always change or add another marketing list from this button. So we can choose another predefined list or create a new list. So we'll give it a name. And we'll take the leads. And let's make it a dynamic list. So any new lead that is entered to the system will automatically be included in this marketing list. Let's save it. And click on Manage Members. Here, we can select any field that we want. For example, let's take the status. And say that we want all the leads with the status of contacted, new, and that's it. Let's click on Find, see the list, and we can use this query. So that's it. We've defined a new marketing list and we can add it to our campaign. So anything we'll send will be sent either to contacts or to new leads. Next, let's go to the campaign activities and let's create a new activity. So here we can see that we already sent the November newsletter. Let's create a new campaign activity for December. So first, we'll choose the channel we want to send emails. Now let's enter a subject. If we place here a future start date, then the emails will be sent only on that date. Since we want the emails to be sent today, we will not enter here any start date. Now let's save. And click on Distribute Campaign Activity. Here, we can manually enter a subject and a description for the email. Or we can choose a template that was predefined. And click on Distribute. And that's it. The emails are created. And here we can see all the emails that were sent to the contacts and leads. For example, let's enter one of those emails. We can see that this email was sent to James Jones, so the email is personalized to the specific contact and lead. It is concerning the December newsletter. And we can also see the attachment that was defined in the template. We can also see failures, usually because the email was written incorrectly or is missing. So we can correct the emails for those contacts and then resend this campaign activity to those contacts who haven't received it the first time. So let's save and close our campaign, and let's go back to the home page. And let's review the dashboard. So here we have the pipeline of all the donations. We can see cold donations, warm and hot donations. And here we can see the donation comparison between the actual amounts that are donated and the estimated donation amounts. Here we have grids that help us in our work. For example, we have our primary projects, open donations that I'm taking care of, all the contacts, and also my activities. I can always click here and choose a different view to look at. For example, I can look at all the open activities in the organization. If I click here, I can see here recently visited pages and views. This helps us see very quickly pages and views we have recently visited without having to search them again in the system. Also, we can pin a page and we can pin a view to the list, and they would stay on the list. Now, everything we have seen in the system, we can also see and work from our Outlook. So here in the personal folders, we have our inbox and sent items, and underneath that, we have the system itself. So here we can see everything, the workplace, sales, marketing. For example, under workplace, I can see my dashboards. And here I can see all my contacts. So I can see a quick review of the contact. I can also use this field to look for contacts. And if I double click, I can enter the contact itself. And it looks exactly like it would look if I was entering this screen from the system itself. So I can do all my work from the Outlook, and I would see all my meetings on my calendars. I will see here all the contacts and all the tasks, and everything is synchronized from the system to the Outlook and from the Outlook to the system. I can also use my smartphone, and I can work from my smartphone and see the system from there. I can update the system from my smartphone when I'm on the roads or going to meetings. I don't have to be on my computer in order to work with the system. So let's go back now to the system. So here I would like to show you one last nice functionality of this system. It is called What's New. Now here in the area of What's New, we can do several things. First, we can write a message to everyone. So everyone can see my message, and if I click here edit, I can also enter my photo. So every time I write something, my photo would be presented. Everyone can comment about what I just wrote. Also, I can see here predefined issues that happened in the organization. For example, here I can see that Jessica Marvin has donated $1,200. And I can see who is the employee who got the donation from her. Also, I can follow donators or users or volunteers very easily. It's like Twitter. So I can just enter the person I want to follow and I click on the record wall and I click follow. And like Twitter, now I'm James Jones' follower. So if I'll go back here to what's new, I can see now that I'm following one contact. I'm following James Jones. So that's it for our presentation. I want to thank you very much for listening. And please be in touch if you have further questions or you want to get a trial. So we will be happy to give you a 30 days free trial of this system. Thank you and have a nice day.